Hi guys, this is Miss Wagstaff again, and we're going to continue on with our next lesson about capitalization rules. If you remember in the first lesson, we talked about that we capitalize. There were 5 different rules for capitalizing words. We always capitalize a proper noun. A proper noun names a specific person, place, or thing. So we had 5 different proper noun rules that we learned about that we are capitalized. People, people's names, first and last, or any kind of title that goes with that person. For instance, your medical doctor, or Dr. DiNardo at school, you would capitalize doctor. If they're married, Mrs., Ms., Miss, Mr. All of those titles get a capital letter also that go with names. Another thing we learned was that we capitalize places, names of specific places, stores. In particular, we looked at holidays. And always remember, guys, that if it says Veterans Day or Memorial Day, day also gets capitalized as part of the name of that specific day. We talked about holidays, we talked about the days of the week, and we talked about capitalizing months of the year. So today we're going to look at some more capitalization rules. All righty. Oh, that one we already did. So the next thing that we need to talk about, nouns are capitalized because they are the names of the cities and states. So any city or any state that you write about, the city should be capitalized, so should the name of the state. So I'm going to give you a sample. Here are 3 sentences. Would you please, on your paper, would you write the name of the city and the state correctly, please? Look, took me that long to get that correct. All right, you should have capitalized the N for Nashville, the T for Tennessee, the J for Juneau, the A for Alaska, A for Atlanta, and the G for Georgia. Bonus, write the name of your city and state. You may have written Covington, Georgia. C would have to have a capital letter. Georgia would have to have a capital letter. Or you may have written Oxford, Georgia. O would have to be capitalized, and so would Georgia. Next capitalization rule. If we're talking about a country, we should always, or writing about a country, we should always capitalize the country. Mexico, United States, Japan, France, Argentina, Canada, any other country you can think of, Greece, Italy, all of those start with a capital letter. So now we're going to practice, and we are at the next slide. There are 3 sentences. Would you please find the words in those sentences that should have a capital letter? Okay, if you capitalize the C for China, the A for Australia, and the I in India, you got those all correct. Those are the 3 countries that were in these sentences used as examples, and they should begin with capital letters. All right, the last rule. We also should always capitalize the pronoun I. If you're talking about yourself and you say, you're writing and you say, I am going to town, okay, whatever. If you use the pronoun I should always, 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 always be capitalized because it's like that's your name. And the first word in a sentence should also always be capitalized. And you know what, guys? Even though you're in fourth grade, sometimes we forget that because we get writing so fast. Or another thing that has happened to us in your generation, texting. You don't always capitalize and do things proper when you're texting. And so then when you're writing for school or for a paper, you forget that you need to apply that. So the first word in a sentence should always be capitalized. Here are 3 more sentences. Would you please read all 3 sentences and write all of the words in those sentences that should have a capital letter? Okay, the first sentence says, why don't I want to play at recess? You should have capitalized the J for 2 reasons. Number 1, because it is the first letter of the sentence, and because it is a person's name. I should be capitalized because it is a pronoun and it is talking about me, so I should have capitalized that. The second one, you also should have capitalized I because it is the first word in the sentence and it is also the pronoun. So for 2 reasons, I should be capitalized. In the third sentence, may should be capitalized because it is the first word of the sentence. I should be capitalized because it is a pronoun. I hope you got all of those correct. Make a list of words that need to be capitalized and share your list with your neighbor. We're not sitting in a classroom, so you can't share it with your neighbor. But would you make a list and number 1 to 7, or actually 1 to 9, and see how many of the capitalization rules you can remember? What are the things that you should capitalize? Would you write those down real quickly? And then we'll review that and we'll be done for the day. Okay, in your list, you should have said, people's names need to be capitalized, places, holidays, days of week, months of the year, cities and states, countries, the pronoun I, and the first word in every sentence. Those are the words that you should always, always, always capitalize when you are writing. And then people will think that you are very smart because they will know that you apply what you have learned. Thanks for having a good day today.